Welcome to Theater of the Mind Entertainment, a Call of Cthulhu tabletop RPG playthrough radio drama, featuring our victims John, Matt, and Don, and I'm your Tomeskeeper, Cody.
Last time, questions begin to flow as the group makes their way down a staircase to inspect the body of a murdered security guard. John suspects that the demise of Cliff the fisherman is connected to this second death. A bloody footprint coaxes them deeper into the darkness. After hearing the unnerving utterance of chanting, Ted literally stumbles upon a mysterious ritual. 3 cultists attack the unfortunate intruder, and the ensuing fight ends in blood. Ted is stabbed in the shoulder, but the cultists are shot dead. The dark hooded men are armed with eerily recognizable daggers. 2 artifacts are recovered from the ritual, a small totem and a strange book written in an unfamiliar language. As the group makes their way toward the exit, Ted grabs the book. Pulling up the rear is Ben, who experiences a strange phenomenon when he clutches the totem. The laughter of a little girl fills the heads of the 4 men as they desperately flee. When they return to the dock, they agree to be in touch the next morning and then split up for the night. Oliver drives Ted to the hospital to get stitches, and then the 2 return to their homes. Oliver keeps the book with plans to show it to an expert in the morning. John and Ben wake Bernard up for an emergency meeting. Bernard tells them that the cleanup team that went to Cliff's home found nothing out of the ordinary. Cliff was gone, but the team agreed that he probably went out fishing. Frustrated, Ben reveals the totem and places it on Bernard's desk. To Ben's surprise, neither Bernard nor John can see it. The meeting ends in perplexity as the 3 men determine a good night's sleep will provide clarity. John and Ben return to their homes for the evening. All seems quiet, until there's suddenly a knock at Ben's door. He opens it to look upon a truly unexpected face.
Oliver, you lie down and try to get some sleep, and you're having a pretty tough time thinking about the events that transpired the day before. Give me a listen.
I rolled a 99. I'm not passing anything.
As you're trying to get some sleep, you hear something that sounds like laughter, like a little girl laughing. And you open your eyes, and you're really groggy, and it's really quite dark inside your apartment. And you hear chanting and laughter resonating from inside your apartment.
What the hell is going on? What is that noise? I sit up in bed, take a look around. Do I see anything?
Give me a spot.
A 53 out of 55 success.
So it's pretty dark in your room, and you're kind of rubbing your eyes and looking around. And you see across your apartment this sort of green glow coming from behind your desk.
What the hell is that? Get up out of bed and I walk over to the desk.
As you're walking over to the desk, you hear this girl laughing. And it just echoes loudly throughout the apartment. And as you're walking across the room, your lights just kick on and get really bright, and the bulbs begin to pop.
Who is that? Is someone there?
You're in complete darkness, and you see very faintly this little girl standing behind your desk reading from the book that you had found on the ship.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
She looks up at you and smiles, and laughter just fills the room. Roll sanity.
An 82 out of 55?
This can't be real. You're telling yourself that this can't be real. It has to be a dream.
You don't exist. I'm obviously just dreaming.
And you begin to black out, and you feel really dizzy, and everything goes dark. Theodore, you're in your apartment. What are you doing?
So usually before I go to bed, no matter how late it is, I sit around and kind of tinker with my radios a bit, just work on some projects that I have.
Yeah, you're tinkering around and you decide to lie down and go to sleep. And as you're trying to get some sleep, go ahead and give me a listen.
That's a 12 out of 20.
You lie down and you close your eyes and you're just starting to fall into a pretty nice, deep, relaxing sleep. And you hear your radio click on.
Fuck is that? I swear I turned that thing off. Get out of bed. Try to flick on a lamp near me.
You turn the light on and you get up and you start walking over to your radio. And you just see and hear the frequencies just begin to get staticky and move as if it's trying to hone in on something.
In my groggy and tired, half-asleep, puzzled state, I just instinctively reach down and pull the power out.
You pull the power out and the radio gets louder and the static gets more intense.
What the fuck? And I hit the radio.
You hear coming across the radio,
Please help. I'm lost. Please help.
and it's all broken up and it's really hard to hear.
I fish around frantically on my table. I find a mic that I had, and I plug it into this radio.
-70-957826142351487. Please help, I'm lost. Please. And he just begins repeating the numbers over and over again.
Do I recognize the numbers?
Give me a no roll.
I rolled a 69. Gonna expend luck though, and got a success.
So as this person on the other side of this radio is rambling off these numbers, you start saying them back to yourself and you're like, wait a minute, those are coordinates on a map.
I reach around and just find a piece of paper and try to write them down as they come out. And I pick up the radio. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
There's somebody out there. Please help.
Hello? Hello?
Ted?
Hello?
Ted, is that you?
Who is this?
This is you.
Is this some kind of prank?
And it just cuts out into static.
I just drop the mic and I hit the radio again.
As soon as you hit it, it fizzles away and turns off. Roll sanity.
53 over 40 fell.
You're sitting there staring at the radio and you're wondering if this is all real or if this is a dream. And you have convinced yourself that this is a place and this person needs help. And you have to get there. This is not a dream.
I grab the piece of paper, I look, and I wrote the numbers. It makes sense. I immediately just start pulling out papers and atlases that I have and old books that I had from my grandma when she passed away and just everything. And I start just diving into that, trying to figure out what those numbers mean.
You spend the rest of the night plotting and trying to figure out this exact location. You don't get much sleep. John, it's about 11 o'clock p.m. What are you doing?
After the day we already had, I would have got myself settled in for the night and just lay there and contemplate the events that transpired.
As you're lying there and thinking about the day, you drift off into sleep and you have a very restful, peaceful night's sleep, one that you haven't had in a very long time. You wake up the next morning feeling unusually rested. It's about 8 a.m. and you get up and make yourself some breakfast.
As I move around my apartment, getting my breakfast together and my things to start the day, I wonder how the rest of my friends made out last night. So I go to the phone and go to give Ben a call.
Yeah, you walk over to the phone and you begin dialing Ben's number. It rings for a pretty long time, but he doesn't answer.
Oh, that's odd. I guess I'll just swing by there on my way to the office.
So you head out and you jump in your car and you begin heading to Ben's apartment. When you get there, you walk up to the apartment building complex and go inside and you make your way up to Ben's room. And as you walk down the hall, you approach the door. Give me a spot hidden.
65, success.
As you approach the door, you notice that it's ajar. And there appears to be this fog kind of rolling out through the cracks of the door.
Cautiously, I make my way to the door.
You push the door open, it creaks open, and this thick fog just kind of rolls out.
Ben, are you there?
There's no answer.
Is the fog so thick that I can't see anything else in the room?
No, it dissipates pretty quickly.
I scan the room.
Go ahead and give me a spot.
87, fail.
You don't really notice anything, and you just kind of walk into the room. It's still a little foggy, so it's kind of hard to make everything out clearly.
I start to make my way around the room looking looking for anything out of the ordinary as I call out for Ben.
Yeah, as you walk in, you notice it's kind of a studio apartment. So off to the left, there's sort of a kitchen area, and the kitchen and the living room are all sort of one. And then off to your right-hand side, there's a small hallway that looks like it leads down to the bathroom at the end of the hallway. And then there's a doorway off to the left at the end of the hall that you're kind of assuming to be a bedroom. And around the corner, there is a desk.
Ben. Hey, Ben, it's John. Hey, I didn't mean to let myself in, but I just want to make sure you're okay.
There's no answer.
I proceed down the hallway to check the other rooms.
Yeah, you walk down the hallway and you open the bathroom door and you don't see anything unusual. And you turn to go into the bedroom and you crack the door open and the door creaks open and you walk inside and you see the totem lying on the nightstand.
Son of a bitch, he really did take it. I scan around the room. No Ben?
You don't see Ben.
I approach the totem.
As you walk closer to it, you feel kind of lightheaded, a little woozy, and you get this weird sensation in your fingers and in your toes, this like vibration, and your ears begin to ring. As you approach this cautiously, everything gets very hazy, and this thick fog appears. So thick, in fact, that you can barely see your hand if you hold it up in front of your face.
Oh, what is this?
And you look down and this totem is glowing, this sort of green color, but not glowing from the inside out. It's just emanating this green glow.
I reach out for the totem.
Roll sanity.
88, fail.
So as you reach out and you touch this thing, you hear these cries and these shrieks. You can't make out what or who they are, but you grab the totem and everything goes white and dreamy. And you look around the room and it's nothing but silence. Before you could hear the city outside, but now it's as if you're in this silent, muted room. You can hear your heart beating out of your chest, and you're sitting there holding this totem.
As I hold the totem, would I be able to explore the room?
Yeah.
And the rest of the apartment?
Of course.
I'd like to do that then.
Yeah, you begin looking around and rummaging through the apartment.
Does it seem any different than when I first arrived?
Nothing seems out of place or different, except for the fact that everything seems very ethereal. As you're walking down the hallways, the walls don't seem concrete or solid. As you reach out and touch the wall, it's very cold and almost damp. When you move your hand away from the wall, you see a wisp, as if the wall is kind of coming off and just vanishing into the ether. Give me a listen.
49, success.
As you're walking down the hallway and dragging your fingers across the wall, because you, for some reason, enjoy the sensation on your fingertips, you hear this scratching sound. Not like nails on a chalkboard, but like something scratching along the wall.
What is that? What is this place? Definitely threw the looking glass on that.
You walk up and you make your way into the living room, and you see this shadow being cast on the wall, and it appears like this huge claw and this hand just running its fingers across the wall, and this scratching just gets loud and echoes throughout the entire apartment.
As I notice the hand raking across the walls, I drop the totem and move away from it as quick as I can.
You drop the totem and it just thuds on the ground. And as you backpedal, you see this thing come around the corner. It's this beast on all fours, raking its claws across the ground. And it kind of looks up at you, this shadowy mass that doesn't really have a form, but you can make out a face if you stare at it long enough, and it just claws its way towards you.
Get away from me! What? Oh, God, no!
It runs across the room at you.
As the creature's moving towards me, I want to try to get away from it as fast as I can.
You turn around and you run out of the door, slamming through it, and you begin hauling down the hallway, and you hear this thing just running after you, and it's banging into walls and clawing and clawing and clawing. It gets to the point where you feel its breath on the back of your neck, and you slam out into the street, and you look up and you just see people and cars.
Oh, God, I gotta get away! I gotta get away!
And you turn around and everything's normal.
What have I done? What have we done? I try to pull myself together, I stare back into the doorway to the apartment complex.
It looks completely normal, and actually you see somebody kind of come to the door and look out. Are you okay, man?
Yeah, I'm fine. As I straighten up my tie and try to pull myself back together.
Are you sure? You look a little worse for the wear.
Oh, I'm fine.
Okay, well, take care of yourself. And he turns around and goes back inside.
As he walks away, I peer one last time. Everything seems to be the same, I suppose.
Everything looks normal.
Gotta go find Oliver and Ted. Gotta find Ben. Was that Ben? I moved to my car, fired up, and I head down to the diner downtown where we'd met the other day.
Oliver, you open your eyes and your head is just killing you. You peer over to the clock and it's 8 a.m. You don't know where the night went, and you're not sure. You think you just had a dream. It couldn't be real, right?
Oh, God. What happened last night? I look around, I look at the desk, and the book. Is the book open? Does it look like someone was messing with it?
It does. Roll sanity.
89.
You know for a fact, or at least you think, that what happened to you last night was real.
God, it couldn't have been a dream. I didn't touch that book. She was here. That little girl was here. What was she doing here? Who is she?
And you think she wants to kill you.
I quickly get my things together, grab the book, and make my way out of my apartment.
Where are you heading?
I'm going to get in my car and head to Ted's place.
You get in your car and you make your way to Theodore's apartment. Theodore, it's about 8 a.m. You've been working on plotting out these coordinates all night. Your eyes are burning. You feel completely drained, but something is driving you to continue.
I grab a pencil and I'm like collecting papers and shuffling them around, and I look over at the clock real quick, see it's about 8. Shit. I just put the papers in basically grab them and half crunch them together, and I look around and find a messenger bag that I had, and I throw the papers in there. I look around my room and find a small little radio that I had built a while ago, stuff it in the bag. I start making my way out of my apartment, eyes burning and not even quite sure where I'm headed.
You make your way out of your apartment, down the stairs, out to the street. As soon as you get out there, you see Oliver pulling up.
In my manic, do I even notice him?
Give me a spot. You need to make a hard on this to notice him.
8 extreme.
Yeah, when you walk out of your apartment, you laser focus on Oliver's car as if you're grasping at somebody to relate to.
Oliver!
I see you flagging me down, and I just motion for you to come and hop in the car.
Without hesitation, I throw open the door and jump in his car. Oliver, where are you going?
I was coming to see you. Where are you going?
You were. Never mind. I have to go. I have to go to the library. Where are you going again?
I needed to come and talk to you. I had some crazy things happen to me last night, and I need to tell somebody. We need to get John.
I have to get to the library, but I guess why just John?
Yeah, Ben too. But I don't know what happened last night. I don't know if I was dreaming, but I think that little girl came and visited me, and she's real.
As he's saying this, despite my focus right now, try to collect myself. What do you mean, little girl?
The little girl from the photos.
You found her in more photos? Wait.
Ted, she was in my apartment last night. I point to the book sitting in the backseat of the car. She was reading that. I was laying in bed and I woke up and she was there reading from the book.
I turn around and I look at the book and I look back at Oliver. Do you have whiskey?
Yeah, I've got some car whiskey. Open the glove compartment.
I throw open the glove compartment and I take that bottle of whiskey and I just drink half of it.
Go ahead and give me a constitution.
81. Fail.
Ted, you drink this whiskey down, at least half the bottle in 15 seconds.
Whoa, Ted. That's my good stuff.
I turn it and look at the label.
You see it's a fine bottle of Jack.
I catch myself vomiting in my mouth a little bit. I screw the cap back on. Feel a little better. Put the bottle back in the glove box. Yeah, let's find John. I need to go to the library too.
Do you want to go to the library first, or
How about we go to the diner? I need coffee.
Sure. I could absolutely use some coffee too. We'll go to the diner. I'd like to get in contact with Ben or John.
I mean, man, whatever you want to do. And I just lay back in the seat.
Yeah, Theodore, you feel entirely intoxicated. And Oliver, as you begin driving down to the diner, Theodore, I'm going to roll off your constitution check. And Oliver, you notice that Theodore is getting visibly sick.
I told you that was my good stuff. You shouldn't have drank that much. You're going to be feeling it.
And I start to open the door handle.
You're not going to throw up in my car, are you?
I'm going to throw up in your car.
Oliver, you rip the car over to the side of the road. Theodore, you push and shove the front door open and you kind of fall out as you vomit all over the street. You feel much better.
I collect myself, get up, brush the dirt and whatever off of me.
You all right?
Feel better now.
A good cup of coffee will help you.
Yeah, well, let's just get down to the diner, man.
Yeah, you guys begin making your way to the diner. John, you walk into the diner. Hey, what can I get you?
Hi, Dave. Has, Ted been in today?
No, I haven't seen him, but he typically stops in the morning, so I'm sure he'll be here at about, actually in about a half hour or so.
All right, if it's all the same to you, I'll just take a cup of coffee and I'm gonna have a seat in the back.
Yeah, not a problem. Are you doing okay? You look a little rough.
I'm okay.
He turns around and you see him prepare you a cup of coffee and he brings it to your booth.
Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Some moments later, you hear the door open to the diner and in walks Oliver and Theodore.
Oh, thank God, just the two I was looking for.
You guys notice John sitting in the booth.
John, what are you doing here?
I can't find Ben.
What do you mean you can't find Ben?
I went to Ben's apartment this morning trying to find him. The only thing I found was the totem from the ship, and something else.
As we walk in, after John finishes, Dave, can I can I get a pot of coffee? Like a whole pot.
Yeah. Coming right up, Theodore.
And I go and take a seat at the booth with John. You're saying you went to Ben's this morning and he wasn't there?
He wasn't there.
He took the totem? I don't remember anyone taking the totem.
I didn't actually see him take it. When we went to see Bernard last night, before we parted ways, he said he took it, and he said he had it there with him, but I didn't see anything. Nothing. I just thought just the stress of the evening just pushed him a little too far, but it was there in the apartment.
So you're saying you saw the totem in the apartment, but you didn't see it. He said he had it the night before?
Yeah, he said he took it the night before, and he said he felt kind of funny. Hey, look, this is going to sound really weird, but...
I mean, yeah, go on.
Has anything strange happened to you two last night into this morning?
Well, I know that something happened to me that I can't explain last night.
What happened?
Remember that little girl who was in the photographs that I showed you?
Yeah, the little girl you pointed out from the boat, yeah.
She was in my apartment last night.
Do you guys think it's just... We all had a real rough night last night. I don't know. It just sounds like a bad dream to me.
Ted, I thought it was a dream, but when I woke up on the floor, mind you, I did not touch the book that night. When I woke up the next morning, that book was open and turned to a random page. She was there. She was turning through this book. She's following me. This little girl is out to get me.
What book?
The book from the ship. That book that we found, I took the book with me. It was in my apartment with me, and that little girl was reading from it.
I don't even want to tell you guys what I read. I just can't explain it. That's why I think there's something I just can't even put words to it.
Yeah, Ted, you were leaving your apartment whenever I pulled up. Where were you going?
I pull out the stack of papers from my bag and I just drop them on the table.
Shit, what's all of this?
At about that time, Dave walks up and gives everybody cups and begins pouring.
Thanks, Dave.
And thank you, Dave.
Hey, no problem, guys. I'll leave this pot of coffee here for you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
He sets it on the table and walks away.
What is all this, Ted?
I don't know, man. If it's a bad dream, I don't know what it is. I woke up in the middle of the night and I just heard one of the radios going off and it's just this static and this terrible sound. And I went and, I thought I was messing around the night before. I thought maybe I just left something plugged in and caught a weird band, but went ahead and unplugged that thing and just kept going. And then all of a sudden there was a man on the other end and he just started spitting out these numbers and saying he needed help. It's coordinates to some type of location. I can't figure it out.
Did you look on a map where the coordinates are?
Thanks, Oliver. I really needed that scholarly advice. Yes, Oliver, I'm going to look at it on a map. Why do you think I want to go to the library?
Good call, Ted.
I just drink the rest of my coffee.
Look, this isn't helping our situation at all. This all has to be connected. For the three of us to have this happen on the same night, into the same morning. When I was in Ben's apartment, I took the totem. I held it in my hands and I stared right into its eyes. And it was almost like it changed. It changed the room around me.
How did it change the room?
It was almost like looking into like a negative, like a piece of film. The walls, they reacted to my touch. As I moved into the living room, I heard a screeching. It was almost like it was in my head, like it was trying to tear out of my head. It was in there, in the room with me. I don't know what it was, it was there. I just dropped the totem and I ran. I could still just feel like the sickening green glow of that fucking totem. We are in over our heads right now, and I really don't know what to do.
Where did you take the totem? Where is it now?
It's in the apartment. I wasn't taking it with me.
I mean, I don't blame him, but
I wouldn't have touched it either.
I did see the book in your backseat, right?
I do have the book, yes.
I don't know, man. I don't like that story. I'm not about to go touch that totem, but clearly it has something to do with this.
Do you think that thing in Ben's apartment took him?
I don't know. It pulled itself out of the wall like an arm, and it pulled from the wall like into the room.
I mean, guys, let's not get too crazy here. Maybe Ben just went out somewhere. I mean, it's likely.
I don't know. He seemed weird after I dropped him off.
What do you mean weird?
I don't know. I don't know right now.
I mean, that all seems like probable cause to me. I mean, Ben was a pretty quiet guy. Maybe he just kept it all bottled up inside, and it finally got to him.
Maybe it did, but I know what I saw.
You're a PI, right? In a sense.
I'll make a few phone calls, but I kind of feel like it's going to be at a dead end.
I have an idea. The book is obviously attached to the totem. They were at the same place at the same time. Whatever is in that book probably has something to do with the totem. I have a connection over at the university. Maybe he can give me some kind of information on the book, and possibly the information that he gives me might possibly shed some light on this entire situation.
It looks like our paths may diverge a little bit, but I don't think we should stray too far away from each other, given the circumstances. But before we go, I at least want to mention one thing, though. After we left the boat last night, Ben and I went back to the police station to talk to Bernard. His detectives went up north to Cliff's cabin and inspected the ship. There was nothing at both scenes. There was no dead Cliff. There was no carvings on the wall. There was no dead cultist. There was nothing out of place. The only body they found was the security guard that was murdered.
That doesn't make any sense. I point to Ted's scar on his shoulder. That happened last night. We went to the hospital for it.
Nothing we've talked about in the last several minutes made any sense. But it happened. We know it happened. We were there.
I'm not even going to ask you what dead cliff means or scrawlings on the walls, but how about we talk about that later? I start gathering up my papers while he's saying that. I just stuff them back in my bag. Oliver, man, I gotta get to the library. Are you coming?
Yeah, I'll come with you to the library.
John?
Oliver, I drove down here. If it's okay with you, I'll take Ted to the library. I really don't feel like being alone right now.
Absolutely. Drive him over there. I'm gonna go when I'm on campus. I will develop the photos, talk to my professor. I will gather all of the information that I can, and I will get back to you two.
Just pick us back up meet us at the library.
Okay, whenever I'm done, I will come to the library and we will talk.
I put some cash down on the table, get out, gather my stuff. Hey, we're gonna head out, Dave.
Hey, not a problem. Thanks, Ted. You guys take care of yourselves.
I also place some cash down on the table. Hey, thanks, Dave.
Oh, you're welcome, Oliver. You take care.
As do I, and I move past. As I'm walking out, I hand my camera off to Oliver. Since you're going to be going up to develop the film, can you please develop these?
Definitely.
You guys head out of the diner. John and Theodore, you begin heading to the library. Oliver, you begin going to the campus. John, you pull up to the library, and you guys get out and make your way in.
So what exactly are we looking for here?
I don't know, John. I know they got charts here. Gonna try to find out where these coordinates lead.
Fair enough. Point the way.
Both of you give me a library use, and Theodore, you're gonna have advantage on this.
43 under 60, pass.
90, fail.
Theodore and John, you begin digging through maps and different geographical books. And Theodore, you find this map, you pull out the coordinates, and you begin kind of deciphering and searching where this could possibly be. And it takes you about an hour, but you do locate this place, and it's Deer Island, Massachusetts.
Sorry, Ted, this It's just a little much for me right now. I'm having a hard time concentrating.
Well, John, you think think I'd be a little better at this, considering.
Considering what?
My family has a little history at the sea, actually. My father was a sailor. I didn't really pick up much from him, obviously.
Oh, why is that? I mean, if you don't feel comfortable talking, I understand.
Maybe I'll dive into it a little deeper sometime, but let's just say I never got a lot of time with him.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
As I'm finishing saying that and looking over the maps, that's when I go ahead and I point to the map. John, I think I found it.
The coordinates.
Looks like it's Deer Island, Massachusetts.
So that's where the broadcast was from?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I just know that's what the voice on the radio said. Whatever it is, I have to know.
Oliver, you make your way to the university, and you walk in. It's about 11 a.m. Where are you heading?
First thing I want to do when I get on campus is go and see Dr. Primwell.
You make your way down the hallway, and you find yourself walking into Dr. Primwell's office. And you approach the door, and you see this nice plaque that says Professor Primwell. And the door's closed.
I approach the door and knock.
Yes, who is it?
Dr. Primwell, it's Oliver McDowell.
Oh, Mr. McDowell, please come in.
I open the door.
You make your way inside, and you see Dr. Primwell, very pristine, always dressed to the nines, and a little bit stuffy. Oh, Mr. Oliver, please, have a seat.
Yes, don't mind if I do. Thank you.
Yeah, what brings you in today?
I wanted to see if you'd be able to interpret something for me.
Well, I am a professional at linguistics, so what do you have?
I pull the book out of my knapsack that I'm carrying, and I place it on his desk. Be careful, I don't know if you want to touch it with your bare hands.
Oliver, I do not believe in superstition. This is very interesting. Where did you find such a beautiful book?
Would it be alright if I tell you after you look at it?
Sure. No, not a problem. And he begins looking at this book, and he's flipping through it. I've never seen anything quite like this.
Does it resemble anything that you've ever come across?
I mean, I remember back at graduate school, we did a course on ancient languages, and I vaguely remember some things being slightly familiar, but this has to be some ancient lost language. I mean, this book should be in a museum.
I absolutely agree. This book is a gem. I'm just very interested to find out its origins, and if you can give me any kind of insight on what the inspirations of this book might be. It came into my possession from a very, shall we say, strange source.
Interesting. Well, Oliver, I must say, this is one thing I need to brush up on, but I do know somebody who might be able to help you out. And you notice he walks over to this bookshelf in his office, and he kind of begins looking through some books, and he pulls one out. Here, this is by Jackson Elias, a very well-known author of interesting things. He mainly focuses on the occult, but he's written many books on ancient civilizations and occult actions. He might be able to shed a little bit of light on this book. I mean, it does look like some sort of manuscript of maybe an ancient religion, something. It seems very, very interesting, but I believe I have his business card here somewhere. Give me 1 moment. And he begins shuffling through his desk, and he pulls out this small business card. Oh yes, Jackson Elias, and he slides the card across the table. I believe his office is out of Boston, but I don't think he lives in Boston, but the number on the back should get you to his secretary, and she should be able to get in touch. When you give them a call, say let them know that I sent you, because he's a little bit of a man with stature.
I really appreciate it, Professor. I will absolutely give him a ring.
Yes, I wish I could be of more help, but This is definitely kind of out of my league, which is odd to say.
It is definitely out of my league as well. Not that I am any master of linguistics, such as yourself, but I definitely need an expert on a very particular and peculiar set of skills in this circumstance.
Well, Oliver, I appreciate you coming in, and please stop by sometime. We can have a little tea. And he stands up and extends his hand.
I appreciate that, sir. Thank you.
You have a wonderful, wonderful day, Oliver. Nice seeing you again.
Yes, you as well. I'm sure I will cross paths with you again at some point.
Yes, keep in touch. Take care.
Yes, thanks. You too.
And you leave his office and begin heading down to the dark room?
Yes, I head down to the dark room and begin the process of developing all the photographs.
Yeah, you walk into the dark room and turn the lights on, and turn the dark lights on, and you begin developing the photographs. It takes you about 45 minutes to an hour to develop these photos, and they develop properly.
What do I see in the photos?
Yeah, go ahead and give me a spot hidden.
A 42 success.
As you're looking through the photos, in the captain's quarters, you don't really see anything out of the ordinary. It just looks normal. You take a look at the picture of the dead security guard, and it's gruesome. His throat's slit, and you're just looking at this picture of this body in a pool of blood. You flip over to another picture of when Ted was stabbed, and you capture this perfect moment of chaos. And one thing you notice, in the back, you can see into the library, and you see the little girl standing there holding this book, holding the book that is in your possession, and the totem is hovering and floating in the center of the room and just emanating this bright light. And you flip to another photo, and it's a picture of the totem, and it just appears to be this old relic. Nothing abnormal about it whatsoever.
Well, obviously the little girl is connected to this book. I need to get over and show these photos to Ted and John.
You get the photos put together and you head out and you jump in the car and you begin driving to the library. As you're driving up, you see John and Ted sitting outside. You pull the car up and you get out.
Oliver, did you get the pictures developed?
Oh, they're developed all right.
Can I have mine, please?
I walk over and hand the developed photos to you.
As I flip through the pictures, what do I see?
Your pictures turned out completely normal.
What is this? You developed the pictures I gave you, right? They have to be. It's all the same as I took.
I took what you gave me. I developed them. I don't know. I don't know what else you want from me. That's what I got.
No, I'm sorry. It just...
I step up next to John and kind of peer over his shoulder at the photos. Didn't you say I heard you say scribblings and some guy named Cliff was murdered? Did you take photos of that?
As I'm flipping through the pictures, I pull all those aside associated with Cliff, and I look at them in detail, and Ted, there's supposed to be a dead body in this picture, and a dagger with the same symbols that were on the walls, the same symbol that was on the totem, the same symbol that was on the book. On the walls, the same. It's all gone, like it didn't even happen.
Ted, when you look at these photos, you see this old dead body lying in the center of this one photo, just ripped apart, cut from wrist to elbow. And when you flip through the next photo, you see this symbol carved all through the walls.
As he's explaining this to me, and I'm clearly looking at the photos and seeing a large dissonance between what he's saying, I try to not let on as far as what I see.
Yet, the old man, he was the fisherman that found the three alleged murderers from the Mauritania incident. My involvement with this case all started with him. And it's nothing. It's gone. He's gone. Ben's gone.
I don't know what to say, John. I mean, we should probably hold on to the photos anyway, just in case.
I stuffed them inside my jacket.
Hey, Oliver, was there a photo of the totem in here?
There was.
You mind if I see that real quick?
Yeah, sure.
I take it from Oliver, and I look at the photo of the totem.
When you take the photo and you look at it, the totem appears to be glowing and radiating this light.
Any of you guys, I feel like I've seen something like this before. Try to make a history check on it.
Okay, go ahead.
22 under 35. Success.
You stare at this photo and nothing at all comes to mind. You've never seen anything like this at all.
Huh.
Look at this. This is a photo that I took when Ted was being attacked by that cultist. You can see the totem in the back, and behind the totem is that little girl. She's holding the book in her hands. It looks like she's reading from it.
As I'm holding the photo of the totem that he handed me, I grab the other photo he's holding. I look at it.
Ted, you don't see the little girl, but you do see the totem.
I hand it back to Oliver. You said the little girl was in this?
Yes, she's right there behind the totem.
Yeah. Yeah, I see her.
All right, so where do we go from here?
What did you, what of the book?
Well, as far as the book is concerned, I went and I talked to a professor over at the university. He really didn't know anything about the book, but he gave me some information on someone who might. He is located in Boston, and he gave me contact information to get in touch with him. I think my best bet to get anything about this book is to contact this guy's secretary and see if I can't speak to him personally.
As he says that, I pull a piece of paper that's in my bag out and flip it over. Deer Island, Massachusetts. Looks like we're all headed to Boston.
What?
The numbers, coordinates, they led to Deer Island, Massachusetts.
That's so strange.
Oliver, I'm well past the point of exclaiming anything is strange now. You know, I don't know about the totem. I don't know. I don't even want to touch that thing. How about we go talk to this professor, this contact of yours, and while we're there, maybe I can do a little more digging. That's all I got, man.
That sounds good to me. It seems like the only course of action at this point.
All right, well, it seems like our destination is set. Boston. I'll drive unless somebody else wants to. We can all take my car.
Down for whatever, guys.
Oliver, are you okay with this?
I think it might be smart if we caravanned it. I think I'm going to drive my own vehicle. I can follow you.
Fine.
Hey, John, you mind if I'll ride with you? Cool if we swing by my place real quick before we go.
That's fine. Can I use your phone? I want to see if any of my contacts can turn up anything on Ben while we're gone. Maybe they'll have some information for me when we get back.
Yeah, good thinking.
John and Ted, you jump in the car and you begin heading to Ted's apartment. Oliver, you jump in and you begin following. John, go ahead and give me a spot. Actually, everybody, give me a spot.
64, success.
38, success.
21, hard success.
As you're all driving, you notice that everything begins to get a little foggy. Almost as if you're driving early in the morning and the fog just rose off the river. And John, you look through the rearview mirror, and Ted, you both see this green glow coming from your back seat.
Ted?
Are you seeing that, John?
Ted, what is in the back seat? Look, I don't want to look. What's back there?
Ted, you peer back, and you see the totem glowing. And that's what we're going to call it.
And that concludes our show for this evening. Please, travel safely as you contemplate far more questions than you have answers. Was that Clifford Danhill at Ben's place? Who is that mysterious little girl that appears to be following around Oliver McDowell? And how did the mysterious totem end up in the back of John's vehicle? Please, tune in next time to Theater of the Mind Entertainment. Until then, ta-ta.